Hi honeys, it's your girl Nisi and I'm back again with another interesting topic. I'm at this very nice hotel. It's quiet, so it gives me some serenity to do the video here. Well, today's topic is actually going to be about passport ranking index, right? So basically I'll be talking I travel a little bit. Some people might call that a lot, but I'll say a little bit because I haven't been everywhere yet. So I've done a little bit of traveling and I want to share from my experience and other people's experiences that I've met and I've seen in person what how traveling has been for them, they being African, they being Asians, they being white. And that's what I'm going to use to channel my topic today. So if this is your first time on my channel, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Please don't hesitate to subscribe, like, share the video by all means, and also you can leave me a comment. I'll be super excited to hear what you think about either the video or your experiences in regards to this topic. So I'll just get right into it. So the funniest thing is that I saw this crazy experience, right? A group of African people were trying to travel. So they got to the airport, and when they got to the airport, most of them were turned back, like, oh, you cannot travel. And they had visas on their passports, yeah. And some of them were from Tanzania, some of them were from Congo, some of them were from Kigali, that's Rwanda, yes. And they got turned away and they said, no, you cannot go anywhere. And I was curious and I tagged along because I got talking to one of them and I was like, what's going on? And she explained the situation to me and I tagged along and I was like, what's going on? And they kept on telling them, well, that country says we shouldn't allow people like you to go to the country. And I'm like, why? But these people have visas. These people paid, some of them paid over $1,500 in flight tickets and paid accommodations of about some of them paid over $300 for accommodation just to satisfy the fact that they have everything sorted for them to be able to travel. And you tell them they cannot go anywhere. And it brought me to the point where I had to think deep and to ask myself these questions, and seeing that there is no platform for you to go on and really like challenge the passport index and rankings and be like, who is doing the rankings, who are the people arranging them? Why do these people feel that certain people in the world should be restricted by all means from going to certain places while some other people can? Why is it like this? So I put all this together and I realized that some other Africans who managed to pass through the airport and had visas, they had to book business class tickets for them to be able to be let through. So that is very unfair. And business class tickets cost them about $3,000 just to buy a business class ticket so that they will not be discriminated upon or turned back at the airport from hitting their destinations. So this is a major concern. Africa happens to be at the lowest ranking for passports. Africans can hardly go anywhere without visas. And if you want to apply for a visa, let me give you a breakdown, because a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people from the West especially, they don't understand this. You get up, you take a backpack and you hop on a flight and off you go to the destination of your choosing. and you go there and you look for accommodations that are cheaper, your currency also gives you an edge, because when you come over to Africa, you change your currency, whether you have dollars or euros or pounds or lira or whatever your currency might be. When you change it into the local currency in any of the African countries you choose to visit, you automatically have more. So it's more of an advantage to you than it is a disadvantage to you. Now, but for an African, if you want to travel, first of all, you're entitled to pay visa fees of nothing less than $50, and some countries even ask for more. Now, after paying, and you have to change your local currency into US dollars, or you give the equivalent, which is very tasking on the part of these Africans, because you see, the money in Africa, the currency is way lower than the US dollars, it's way lower than the pounds, it's way lower than the euros. So when they are changing, it means that they have to put more of the local currency from the country of origin to be able to meet up to the desired amount or requested amount to apply for these visas. Now, you pay 50 USD minimum. You have to provide a bank statement, 6 months bank statement, and it has to prove to them that you have sufficient amount of money to take care of yourself. Then you have to also provide documentation stating that you have some ties back home, like maybe a piece of land, or you're married and you have kids and you're not just gonna run away and stay there. And you have to also bring a letter from your employer. So meaning, for an African person to leave their country and say, oh, I want to go on vacation with my family, or I want to go on vacation, I want to clear my head, an African person cannot exactly do that, because to do all of that, it takes you like months, if not years of planning. I've seen families lose their whole savings because they tried to put money together to bring their relatives, to reunite with their relatives, because they're probably in one part of the world and their relatives are in Africa, and they're trying to reunite, and it's a huge problem. So this is some of the major problems that Africans have. And then, you know, they say when you show people that they are not missing anything, then they won't have the cravings to want to experience that. But when you restrict them from experiencing something because you make them feel as if they have a lot they are missing out on. Now that's how it looks like to Africans. That's why a lot of African people are so crazy about leaving their continent to go to the West, to be able to live the kind of lives that they are being restricted from having. I don't know if you understand the picture. Now, we want to talk about the leaders, right? So presidents, senators, governors, they have ambassadors even. They have easy passes to just get up and go to another continent for medical assistance, for vacation, sometimes to even do their own hairdos. For instance, Mugabe could go to anywhere of his choosing and do whatever he wanted to do. You know, why is it that if these countries really want to make this fair, why don't you insist or infringe these restrictions more so on the leaders itself, so it will force them to stay in their countries of origin and rebuild these countries, provide healthcare system, provide educational system, provide infrastructure for people. Why don't you put them in that position? When you make it difficult for them and anyone who bears their names or is related to them by bloodline to find it just as difficult to travel out of their own countries, then that makes it even fair. That makes them sit up and make their own countries of origin very conducive for not just them, but for everyone. I don't know if I'm making a point. I believe I am. I mean, we're not just comparing booby sizes, bra sizes here, or dick sizes. We're talking about real life situations here. Like, Africans also are not helping each other. So basically, people from West Africa cannot just go anywhere in Southern Africa without a visa. People from Southern Africa can't just go anywhere in Western Africa without a visa. People from East Africa can't just go to West Africa or Southern Africa without a visa. Which makes it also very hypocritical, because you hear a lot of Africans complaining how the Western countries don't want to make it easier for them to attain visas to travel, but then they don't accord the same kind of gesture they want to other Africans. You don't even want to allow other people that share the same skin color as you to come into your country and partake in your activities, learn about your culture. Even if you're coming to look for a job there or to make a living, so what? Like, you don't even give other Africans the room to do that. I mean, if all these countries are thinking about, oh, if we let the passport rankings to be equal, then we're going to have a lot of criminals and people coming to overstay. Then don't give privileges. Don't give citizenship by birth privileges. Don't give free healthcare privileges to people who are not from there, except if they truly earn it, either by investment or bringing in a very special skill to the country. You don't give free things. That way, people can actually enjoy the fullness of the earth, travel to wherever they want to, and be able to come back home, because they are not missing out on anything that is out there. And when they realize that, they know that they can only go and come. And it also gives room for people who have the money to spare to make those trips, because the truth is that people who don't have the money cannot leave Africa. Most of the people that are traveling out of Africa are people that have the money. Even people that travel within Africa are people that have money. The flights are ridiculously expensive. To travel from West Africa to East Africa, you'll be looking at more than 800 USD for 2 people. So I feel it's really unfair. There should be a balance somewhere. The world, everybody is so concerned about gender equality, supporting transgenders, supporting gay rights, but nobody is talking about the real human rights that is being infringed upon. The real problem is that not every human in this world has the freedom of movement. Not every human in this world can actually get up today and say, oh, I want to go someplace else and experience that place, and can actually literally do that. Some people, other than most, are living in some kind of bondage. It's like you're in a prison. Oh, this is your line. This is where your line draws out. You cannot go way past this. I mean, it's just too much. So if you're sitting in your high horse thinking this does not affect you because you have means of going to anywhere you want to go to in the world without having to stress for it, it's not really fair. You're not being honest to yourself, and you have no right to talk about injustice because you're not supporting the one thing that is the biggest problem of them all. You're not. Nobody is. Everybody's just quiet. Nobody's saying anything, but it's a huge problem. People are losing money. Families are being disconnected. A lot of things are happening, like because of this passport ranking of a thing. So can there be some sort of petition to rule this shit out so people can actually understand that the world belongs to us? How is it that animals can decide to go anywhere they want? Fishes in the ocean can swim through wherever they want to, but we as human beings, we can't even afford to go anywhere because there are rules in place. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't. Everybody wants to tell everybody what to do, but nobody wants to listen. So it's truly unfair, and I really feel that it should really be revised. Nobody should have to pay a ton just to be able to enjoy traveling or enjoy the beauty of the earth. It is for everyone. Nobody should have to suffer and seem as if you're begging just to go someplace else. That should not be the case. I feel it really should be checked out, and you know, if that is going to be the situation, Africa should also do the same for each other. You know, open up to other people, let them come through. I mean, you don't know who might come into your country and would just blow up the whole country with brilliant ideas that would take you around the map. I mean, I love Africa, I really do, and there are so many amazing places to see, and it is big enough for everyone. So you don't have to be stingy and say, oh no, I don't want to share. Come on. And there are criminals everywhere. There really are criminals everywhere. There is no place that do not have criminals. I mean, what is better? Is it better for Mexicans to be able to cross through the border into the US, even though they have a lot of drug related issues there, like selling of cocaine and whatnot, than for you to allow an African person who actually has an honest day's job and saved up for this trip and wants to travel to experience another continent, another nation? Does it seem fair to restrict such a person from having that experience of a lifetime, and then literally other people who can just do whatever can just come through? I mean, it's really something to think about. If you've had any horrible experiences traveling as an African, I would really like to hear your opinion. And if there's any way that this matter could be tabled, it would be amazing to have the whole passport ranking thing revised. I mean, nobody should judge anyone. It's just a matter of, you know, prioritizing, constructing, having a basic construct to guide everyone from certain kinds of behaviors. So if you liked this topic, I would like to see you give me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it and you have any contribution, please don't hesitate to, you know, make a comment at the comment section, and like and subscribe. Until next time, bye guys. Bye.